Yes, this is the long-awaited Draw My Life tag. Everybody's been asking for it, so here we go. So first off, we have the beginning. My father, Jet Ricks, who had amazing hair, just so you know, and my mother, Robin Ricks, who had also equally amazing hair. They were both the same height, which I always thought was really, really funny, but they fell in love and had 4 beautiful children. My brother, Jet Sam, my sister, Avery, me, the fairest and most awesome of them all, and then Harper, our little shrinky dink over there. I had my mom and my dad back, and we have a perfectly rounded little family. We all lived in a beautiful little home in Arkansas, which is, of course, the natural state, and also I drew that horribly. I think I even got it backwards. But either way, there you go, there's that. So, back to me, the important part. I was a curly, blonde-haired little girl who was obsessed with the musical Cats at the time, so I had this costume that I wore that was a cat costume, and I think it kind of just started my love of cats, so there's fun stuff like that. I also wore a Tinkerbell swimsuit every single day because I thought I looked awesome in it. And yeah, I didn't even really like Peter Pan that much. I just liked my bathing suit. Random fact about me that you should know by now, but I'm a lefty, and I think that really helped me with all my creativity. I think that's where it really comes from. I loved painting, I loved dancing, I loved music, all those kind of fun things. I also loved acting. I was a great liar as a child, and I had an extraordinary imagination. So I would say things like, oh yeah, I have this snake, and it's totally like my boyfriend, and like you can see us all the time, like walking around, me and my snake boyfriend, we're pretty cool or whatever. So yeah, that was the kind of stuff I lied about. It was good. So as you guys know, my first name is Arden, and my second name is Rose. So what my grandmother used to call me was Garden Hose, and I thought that was pretty adorable. Yeah. Okay, so now moving on. I wanted to do everything as a child. That's still how I am today. I'm obsessive, but I've always wanted to be that person that could do sports, and sing, and dance, and own a billion cats and everything. Sadly, I was also the kid that really liked to be alone, so I couldn't really participate in that many group activities because I was constantly like, I want to be on my own, separated by everyone. And they were always like, what's up with her? And I'm like, I'm just cool reading over in the corner because I loved books. I was that kid who was like, guess what, guys? We get to read books. And everyone else is like, oh, crap, AR reading? Gross. And I'm like, yay, books! Another thing that I really, really loved was GameCube and video gaming and N64 and anything like that. And that was mainly because of my brother. Anything he did, I wanted to do. I looked up to him immensely, and I still do. And so I became a lover of all things video games. So some of the few games that I loved as a child were Animal Crossing, Super Smash Bros., Donkey Kong 64, Banjo-Kazooie, and Banjo-Tooie. I also really, really loved Pokemon and Pokemon trading cards, which kind of became a problem when there was this guy in my kindergarten class named Zach, and basically I really wanted his Dark Charizard Pokemon card. So what happened was, he said that if I kissed him, I could have this card. So, me being the little prostitute that I am, accepted, and yeah, we made the deal final. Holla for my first kiss being about Pokemon cards. So anyways, as I grew up, I became older. That's normal. Girls kind of scared me. I liked boy things. I was not one of those girls that was like, I want to do girly things. I wanted to be a tomboy, and I was still a tomboy as all these other girls became like obsessed with hair and makeup and all those kind of fun things. I stayed tomboy-y, which I kind of appreciate now. But sadly, one can only withstand so much peer pressure, and I was striving to fit in at a certain point. This is probably middle school era. But I started hanging out with girls that really were obsessed with their weight, were obsessed with what they look like, and didn't really care about anything else other than their physical appearance, which was kind of sad because I wanted to read books. They didn't really like books. I wanted to play video games, and they just didn't really like video games, and it made me sad. It also made me very anxious and stressed, and so the way I coped with it was trichotillomania. And I've talked about it before, but basically it was just my coping mechanism, and not a very good one at that. Luckily though, I made a new friend named Kennedy, and I still love Kennedy to this day, but Kennedy introduced me to YouTube. She showed me all these beauty gurus, and we used to sit in her room and watch It's Judy Time and Michelle Phan and just be like, oh my god, we love that stuff so much. And eventually, Kennedy made her own channel, and me being the jealous little bee I am, I was like, I want to make my own, so I made one, and I think my first video was a Mac haul, oddly enough, but that was how arose186 actually came about, and arose is kind of a combination of my name and some numbers that don't really make sense. Sadly, at this point, Kennedy moved away, and it made me really, really sad, and it made me not focus on YouTube as much because I didn't have her to kind of support me in that. She moved and I stayed, and I had to deal with all these girls that I didn't really relate to and who didn't understand YouTube or anything like that, but they wanted me to be a real girl, and so I became conflicted. I wanted to do all the fun things that Kennedy let me do and let me be myself and do YouTube and fun things, but over here these girls wanted me to do makeup and be popular and, you know, being cool and boys and stuff that's like that, and so I was conflicted. And I eventually became one of the crowd once again. I didn't have Kennedy, so I was this alone in a crowd type of person. Eventually, though, these girls really kind of talked bad about me, called me slut, things like that, fun times, and I decided I was kind of fed up. I didn't want to deal with them anymore, so although they dumped me as a friend, I also dumped them as friends, so there we go. So that was the summer of me being incredibly sad and crying all the time and staying in bed until 5 o'clock at night and really only getting out of bed to kind of like eat and stuff. But I also fell in love with YouTube all over again because YouTube was kind of like my only friend and all my friends were on YouTube. And so anytime that I got a new subscriber, it kind of made me feel like I had friends again, and so I had confidence. So anytime I went to school, I was always sad seeing people hang out with each other and having fun, but I could think, and I would think about all the fun stuff that I would do when I got home on YouTube, and it made me happy again. So fast forward a couple years, and we come into the Nicholas era. Oh, fun times. So basically, Nicholas and I shared a class, and we were like catty corner with each other sitting there. So he could look at me, but I couldn't really look at him, so I guess that was good for him, I guess. Whatever, I'm hot. Anyways, so I was sitting there one day, just blabbing my mouth off, as always, and I was talking about Kingdom Hearts, because it's one of my favorite games. And Nicholas was sitting over there, and he overheard me and was like, wait a second, Kingdom Hearts? I must date this girl. She is awesome. So, that's kind of how our love affair started. We started talking about video games, and I think that's awesome. That's how our relationship started, but basically what happened was I was like, I don't really want to date you, and he was friend-zoned for a very short amount of time. He'll complain about it, but it wasn't that serious. Anyways, eventually I broke down, and we started dating, and it was great, and that was kind of the summer of Nicholas, and it was probably my favorite summer I've ever had, but basically Nicholas moved off to college, and I've never been in a long-distance relationship before that, and so him leaving me was hard, and it was hard to stay connected, and we broke up. But there was this magical time called Christmas break, and when Nicholas came back, I was like, I can't resist you, you're adorable, you're back, we're gonna date again, and we did, and we're still dating. Now taking this a little bit more recent, I'm about to graduate, and I'm not ready for that. I don't really know what I want to do, and I don't know where I'm going to go. In the back of my mind, I always knew I would need to choose college or YouTube, but in my mouth, I was like, we're going to do both, and that wasn't going to happen. So through some unforeseen circumstances, college has become kind of a difficult thing for me to do right now. Right now, I'm planning on moving to California, the land of YouTube, to meet more of you guys, and I might even be starting a new channel called Arden Games. Not really sure how that's going to go, but I'm excited to try that out. YouTube took me from my lowest place to my highest place, and it's continued to take me there, and I would definitely credit you guys for that. Anytime I was a low point and I was stressed or lonely or down, I could go on YouTube and I would see you guys and all your comments, and it just made me so happy to know that you guys were supporting me even if it was far away. So thank you. Thank you so much, for reals. A lot of things are unsure in my life, but I know that you guys will always be there to support me, and I will always have YouTube, so thank you. And that's about it. See you guys next time. Bye.